All right, everybody. We should be live for this week's episode of Indie Inquiries, where each week myself and Sharky from Nexus Games review indie game store pages and provide advice and critiquing on the best ways of selling your games. How are you doing this week, Shark?
It's hard to say. You know, some ups, some downs, some barrel rolls, some aileron rolls. You know, some lifting to the left, all that kinds of things.
All right. Well, hopefully this week we have some winners standing out. But for those of you who are new, each week we pick 3 indie games and we review their store pages from top to bottom, looking at everything from the thumbnail to the trailer to even the About This Game page, and we give these games a grade based on all these metrics.
As well as tags and links to their social medias and websites and all that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And we are always looking for submissions for future shows. And if you are interested or would like us to help you out, please get in touch.
And we
But
also grade things based off of what is the most important. And when we, to date, the Steam pages we have reviewed, our highest score has been an A minus, and we've only had one of those. We've had a bunch of B pluses.
we also have one F too.
Yep, one F. But we have yet to get an A or an A plus. So I mean, we probably won't today, but we might.
Right, we'll see. So, let us begin. For this week, these are some of the games I've been getting demos for. I gave a quick peek of their store pages to see if there's anything worth standing out. So, we're going to see if any one of these three will get it. So, we are beginning with Gravity Heroes. This is one that we played on the Indie Spotlight on Wednesday night. And those are the nights where I play games that are submitted by developers for play. So, this was a game that liked a lot of the aesthetics to it, but the gameplay was a little bit on the mess side. And we'll see again if the store page manages to overcome that. Because, like we say, what you do on the store page and the quality of the game are not always mutually exclusive.
Yep, because you can have a great store page and a crappy game, and you can also have a great game and a crappy store page. But, there's one that definitely applies more to making money, and that's the store page. Because if the store page doesn't work, then you don't get a sell to begin with. And if you don't get a sell to begin with, then you're not making any money. Now, the gameplay helps you prevent refunds, essentially. Doesn't help you get sales.
Oh, yes. So, if you are ready, Shark, let's start. You want to start with the thumbnail or go straight to the trailer?
Let's start with the trailer, and then we'll go to the thumbnail after that.
All right, I am ready.
All right. Trailers a go.
A little bit.
Starting with logos. It's already a bad start. Good text integration.
Yeah. Music fits, I think.
Good bit of polish on that text.
And so they call to action.
Yep. I think that was a pretty solid trailer, besides that very beginning with the logos. Now then, they do have a publisher, so they may be contractually obligated to have that. But unsure. They could also not be contractually obligated for that.
Yeah. But the context of the trailer itself, I thought, was good.
Yeah. I think the trailer was pretty solid. Just, putting that, the studio names and stuff at the beginning, which you don't want to do, but, and it's definitely bad for this one, but maybe they had to. Maybe they didn't. But if they didn't, they shouldn't have. Let's put it that way. Otherwise, it's good.
Okay.
I think. I
What do you
really
think
like
about
the text part of it.
Yeah, I like kind of when like the screens are like going like in, up and down in reverse, like on each side of it. What do you think about the title thumbnail? I think it looks good.
Yeah, I think that the thumbnail works. I wouldn't give it a top grade, but it is solid.
All right, let's take a look at some of these screenshots. So I don't think these screenshots are in the trailer.
The second one might have been, but I don't think so.
I think that second or the first screenshot is a really solid one. It kind of, I think, unfortunately oversold the game for me because I was expecting it to be more of a action style game, where it's all just one screen arena fights.
Yeah, I do think it's a solid first thumbnail too. I think the thumbnails are pretty solid, honestly.
All right. Are you ready to scroll down?
Yep.
All right.
Going to about this game.
Mm-hmm.
They have an animated GIF here of their
Mm-hmm.
characters and whatnot, and then they have another custom banner underneath that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think that's too much? Do you think they should have had some text breaking up the GIFs? We normally say the opposite.
Yeah.
Do you think there should have been text breaking up the two GIFs?
It does look a little odd, GIF to immediately another GIF.
Mm-hmm. Especially since the GIFs are so similar too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're both kind of the same background, and one of the characters that's on the first one is on the second.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have probably actually broke that up with some text.
And it looks like what they're doing, which I think may be a little bit of a mistake, is that their structure is GIF, text, GIF, text. I think it may have been better to have text, GIF, text, GIF kind of thing.
Yeah. And they're also doing banners like constantly on top of the GIFs. And, I think that's a mistake. I think they're going too overboard with the GIFs at that point.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
A little bit.
Because usually it looks too clunky because all the text is all together. Where this one looks clunky because there's too many GIFs all together.
Mm-hmm. It needs to, I think, organize the text a little bit better. And I think some of these GIFs were used in the trailer. Like the one where they team up or take on friends.
I'm unsure on that,
Mm.
but maybe.
Bosses. Yeah, the page I think is a little busy because of all the GIFs,
Mm-hmm.
and not having enough like text in there to kind of break it up.
Yeah. This is like the inverse of every other Steam page we look at pretty much.
Yeah,
Where,
like that Revita game we looked at last week. I think that struck a really good balance.
yeah, where usually it's too much text and not enough GIFs kind of thing, where this is too much GIFs and not enough text.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the only time we've ever encountered that.
Yeah. I think the fact that these banners are just very similar to each other, like they each have the same kind of background to it. The only thing that's different is the character and where it's positioned.
I don't think that's bad as long as it would be broken up from other
Mm-hmm.
things. If if they were broken up or just all those things were together, separate from everything else,
Mm-hmm.
then it would work. But
Yeah.
since they're underneath a GIF every time, they're just
Mm-hmm.
they're just not working.
It's
Kind
just
of thing.
like being like sandwiched together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you watching this, what we're talking about is that underneath every GIF and every banner, there should be text to break it up. It shouldn't just be image on top of image on top of image or GIF on top of GIF on top of GIF.
Yep. Or text on top of text on top of text, which is what we normally see.
Yeah.
This
So
is taking the inverse approach.
damn, like we're being called boomers.
But basically, they took polish too far, and you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
think you could, but they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not bad.
Do you think that the GIFs themselves are like a little too like jump cut focused? Like if you look at the one underneath the synthetic boss, like it switches it almost like maybe half a second. It's like a little disorienting if you just stare at it.
The the issue isn't the jump cuts, it's where your eye's focusing on the main character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they didn't get it horribly wrong, but they did it have it where your eye does jump a bit there for the main character kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
So I think overall, like structure wise, this is good, but implementation is not as good as we would like to see.
yeah, but they've gone the inverse of what we
Mm-hmm.
go with.
Yeah.
They essentially put too
Mm-hmm.
much work into it rather than too little, like
Mm-hmm.
the other ones.
Yeah. All right. So we go to the descriptions. Or wait, before we do that, let's go actual text. The three friends play online via Steam Share Play. That is incorrect. It's called Steam Remote Play.
Hmm. Especially since they specifically quoted it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good thing.
What do you think again about the final banner at the bottom? Do you think that works?
I think it would had they had text to break it up.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so I think the problem is that it's just very hard to look at this page because of all the images and GIFs going off at once.
Without
And
text
that's why
breaking it apart.
you, yep, exactly.
It wouldn't be so bad if they had text in between every image.
Mm-hmm.
So, we always preach to put more images on your page. This is the one time we preach maybe put more text on it.
Yeah.
Or put, this is a case of they've gone overboard.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to have balance. There needs to be balance in the force.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we go to the description on the right. Definitely too few tags. It should have, multiplayer, maybe arcade.
They might get in trouble for multiplayer since they don't actually they just have the Steam co-op.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they also probably won't either.
Mm-hmm. Remote. It even says remote play together at the top. Let's see. It does have links to Twitter and YouTube, which are good.
It's got a supposed link to the website. Let's check it.
2D platformer, shoot 'em up, pixel graphics, 2D.
It goes to a devlog, a
Oh.
blog. GravityHeroes.com, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, technically, a website.
All right, are you ready for the grades?
Yeah, let's go for the grades. Let's start with
Okay.
the thumbnail. What are we looking at for the thumbnail?
I don't know. I think maybe. I think like B, maybe like BB plus for me.
I was going to go A minus B plus, somewhere in
Mm-hmm.
there.
It's clean. It's easy to see the name.
Mm.
I would say B plus.
I'm going to go with A minus.
Okay. Let's go with the trailer here. Other than the beginning, I think it hits all the major points. I would say, I think again, like maybe BB plus. What do you think?
I'm thinking A minus.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it was a pretty solid trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see much room of them to change stuff or make it better besides that logo at the beginning, which they may be contractually obligated to do.
Mm-hmm. I say B plus.
All
I'll
right.
bump it up there. About this game page.
Well, we didn't do screenshots.
Uh, Screenshots. I mean, they all look different. I think maybe just A. I mean, I can't think of how they would, change or add to it.
Well, I think they could add it to them by putting
Mm-hmm.
more images here. So I would give it A minus.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the about this game page. This is tough it does some of the things we want, but it doesn't do it as good as we would want it
It
done.
it does everything we want. It just overdid it and
Hmm.
did not properly put the text in there. So I mean, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking maybe B minus.
I was thinking B or B minus somewhere in there.
Yeah. Like I was thinking maybe C plus, but I think it does too many things right to drop it down to the C level.
Yeah, and with just a little bit of adjustment, this could have been A plus,
Mm-hmm.
but it went so far that it downgraded itself.
Mm-hmm. So
Tags and links and all this other stuff. What would you give that?
uh, I think it could use some more tags. It does hit all the major contact points. I think
Mm,
again like another B for me.
I would probably say a B as well.
Mm-hmm. So we're kind of like averaging like B plus for the store page overall. Would you say?
You're
Yeah.
probably doing that. I'm probably averaging probably like a B plus A minus.
Mm-hmm.
But since the top things, the screenshots, the trailer, and the thumbnail take so much bias in it,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it might be an A minus. I would rate the whole thing as an A minus.
Mm-hmm. I think we give it a B plus,
So
but
I'm
still,
tying
I
it with
think.
our top, and you're going with the second to the top. That we have
Mm-hmm.
like a 80-way tie in.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends.
Ask a lawyer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, the only things I would change on this would be just having more text to break it up.
And taking the logos out of the front of the trailer if they legally can.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe somehow make a little bit better thumbnail
Yeah.
and get some tags in there.
I'll bump it up to an A minus, just to mix up the. So we have two A minuses. What was our other A minus? Was that one of the shmup games we looked at?
I don't remember. I think it was one from last week or the week before.
Could have been.
I think it was last week. I think it might have
Mm,
actually been a submission.
yeah, I think it was one of like the roguelike ones we got a submission for.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what text I would write, but there, when I say there needs to be text there, that means they either need to remove one of the gifs or add something relevant to the game there. And since I haven't
Yeah.
played the game and I'm not experienced with it, I couldn't tell you what to write there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or, and
And
depending on what you want to write there, it may change the structure of everything.
mm-hmm. And even just moving the text that's there around would help as well.
Potentially, but they've already got pretty
Mm-hmm.
small things of text.
Yeah. All right. I am ready. You want to do Black Legend or Neurodeck next? It does not matter to me.
We can do either one.
All
We can
right.
do
Uh,
Neurodeck if you want.
yeah, sure, because that's the one that I looked at last night as well, so it's still fresh.
All right. So you want to go
Okay.
with the trailer first?
Well, let's take a look at the thumbnail really fast.
Okay.
I think that thumbnail is a little busy. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's busy. I mean, it's got the cards on there, but it's not really telling me what the game is about, and it's really kind of
Yeah.
busy.
And it's very hard to read Neurodeck, the game. Like, I think that text would be maybe
Especially the game part because it's so small.
yeah.
Of course, I don't think the game needs to be on there either.
Yeah, that's
Just
kind of weird.
Neurodeck. I
This
mean,
isn't like based on like a tabletop, is it?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
if it
would.
is, I mean, the game still doesn't clarify that. It would be the
Mm-hmm.
video game or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah, I would probably cut the game part and maybe increase the size of Neurodeck.
Yeah, and make it more readable. And
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, while it's not readable, is because that's their logo to the game, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why that's the logo to the game is because it's very light colored on a very dark background, but their thumbnail is not on a dark background.
Mm-hmm.
It has
And
a
the
small part
shadings.
that's dark background, which is where they placed it, but which is the reason why it's not bigger, but they need a bigger, darker background on it.
Yeah, and like the N and the O are very hard to make out on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's clean. Like the overall art on the thumbnail is very clean. Like that would attract somebody's eye, but it is just kind of like, what am I looking at here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let us go to the trailer. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. So it starts directly with the game.
Mm-hmm. Showing different enemies.
I think the enemy design is really strong in this.
Yeah, I do too. Especially the shark one.
It's overpowered.
Yep.
Upgrade your deck, yeah.
They definitely got the mood right.
Mm-hmm. Enter the caller action.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside maybe just being like a touch long, I think that was a really good trailer.
Yeah, I do too. I think that was a pretty solid trailer.
Do you think the text on the purple background, as opposed to being like overlaid over game footage, is good?
Are you talking about in the trailer?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't just a solid purple background. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I think that's good. I think they could have made it a little bit shorter,
Yeah,
potentially.
maybe like 10, maybe what do you think, like 10, 15 seconds?
Well, I'm talking about the text on screen.
Okay.
I'm thinking those, I don't know how long they were, but maybe like they were like 1.5 seconds or something. They could have probably been 1.4, 1.3, whatever, just a little bit shorter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. One, two. They're about maybe like 2 seconds apiece, I think. Let's
So
see.
if they're 2 seconds, they could probably cut it down to a second and a half each,
Mm-hmm.
which would probably trimmed what 3, 4 seconds off of the trailer.
Yeah. So we look at the screenshots. Some of these I think were in the trailer, like the second one or the first one showing like all the faces looking at you.
Yeah,
Now the one with the pregnant lady, definitely no, that was not in the
I
trailer.
don't think the second one's in the trailer.
No, second, third. So I think that may be the only one that was in the trailer.
Yeah, and it's sad that they led with that one.
Yeah, I mean it is a very visually distinctive enemy, so I can see why they did that.
hmm But they also put it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I would agree with you one a little bit as well that the name doesn't really like stand out. And I guess here's something that's interesting. If you look at the title that's listed here, Neurodeck Psychological Deck Builder, over here it's Neurodeck the Game. So I know they couldn't fit Psychological Deck Builder on this thumbnail. There's no way.
I mean, they could have, but they would have to redo it, and they need to
Mhm.
redo it anyway. So
Yeah. All right. Let's scroll down.
apparently, this is published by Goblins.
Yep. All right. So we start with a GIF.
Oops. No,
We have wish list and follow for updates.
wait, where where is he about this game? Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah, so as you can probably tell, this one has some problems, and they're quite the opposite of our last game.
Yep, they're pretty much the normal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do like that they have, features as its own, blue text. We have everything kind of itemized on here.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can probably guess, it needs images and GIFs.
Mm-hmm. If only they could take some from the last game and use it for their, and the other one just not use as many. They just
Mm-hmm.
balance each other out and both be better for it.
Yep. And I don't know, the GIF that they chose,
Does a lot of things.
like, I feel like they could have just, like, taken, like, they could have, like, turned this one GIF into maybe, like, 3 or 4 GIFs.
Yeah. And then they would have been good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, choose. Now, one problem with this, it's very hard to know exactly what is this game about. And again, that's the nature when we talk about turn-based and roguelike style titles. They describe it as a Slay the Spire like. That is a very tall order, I think, to describe it as Slay the Spire.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly a deck builder,
Mm-hmm.
but it's no, that's the Spire like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they said a Slay the Spire light, then maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
then you get into all kinds of weird terms.
Mm-hmm. Huh. I've not played Gordian Quest. Have you heard of that one?
No.
Hmm.
Where do you see
Keep
that?
at
Oh,
the bottom, inspired by great titles like Slay the Spire, Monster Train, and Gordian Quest.
I'm sure this game was not inspired by Monster Train. Because I'm
Mm,
pretty sure Monster Train came out too late for this game to actually be inspired by it.
mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure this game was pretty deep in development by that point. Because, I mean, when did Monster Train come out? Like,
2020, I want to say.
wasn't it mid 2020 or late 2020? Wasn't it like just
Uh,
like
May of 2020.
so? I mean, this game released 11 months after it, and by that point, I'm pretty sure most of the game was locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they didn't, because they were probably in the polishing phase at that point, and they had pretty much everything actually in the game. So, like, any inspiration from Monster Train,
Mm-hmm.
I really, I think that's more just, hey, if somebody looks up Monster Train, they
And they
might
see
find
Slay
our
the
game.
Spire. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Our game has cards, so it's just like every other game that has cards. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's just like Neon Continuum.
Yeah, it is exactly like Neon Continuum, the word of the day.
Let's see. And so they have really good art and aesthetics with this game, and the store page needs to show it off more.
Yeah. Looking at all the tags and everything,
Let's see.
they don't have any deck builder or card game or anything here for their.
Roguelike, roguelite.
Mm-hmm.
They
And
do have links to the website, Twitter,
but
Twitch.
the Twitch is to Goblin Studios and not theirs.
Mm-hmm. And they may not have a Twitch channel.
Yeah, but I don't know if we want to be linking the publisher's Twitch channel.
Mm-hmm. Roguelike deck builder, card battler, card game. All right.
So
So
we
I
ready
think,
to start the grading?
yeah. So
Let's cut
thumbnail,
thumbnail.
I think it's in the C range. What about you?
I I'd give it a C plus.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
C plus. I mean, it sticks out. Like if you're scrolling down, you're going to go, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah,
What?
but you're probably going to keep on scrolling after that too because it
Yeah.
doesn't really tell you what the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was very hard to read and very busy.
Yeah. All right. Trailer.
Trailer, I think was pretty dang solid.
Yeah.
I'd say that's definitely in the A range.
Yeah.
Probably A. I wouldn't necessarily give it an
A.
A plus,
Yeah.
but I'd say it's an A.
Yep. I would give it an A too. Uh, Screenshots. Other than the first one.
Which there is a good reason to go with that one, but
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I think it didn't in the trailer they didn't actually do the game there and just the enemy.
Let's see. They did show. Okay, they showed the enemies here. I know it showed up early.
Yeah, it's right around 14 seconds.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so
it
there's like
is
one
technically
attack.
a different spot in the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I would give maybe B plus for the screenshots. Like the ones that are just like text. Like I think one thing it's a little hard to read some of that text, and I think that may drop down to a B. Like if you look at these screenshots that show like text, other than like the home collection, like some of the bigger stuff, it's a little hard to make out some of this text. Like if you look at screenshot 4, the stuff that says writing therapy and picnic, that is very blurry to read.
Yeah, but that's because you're not clicking on it.
Yeah, it's a little bit better.
At the same time, I mean that's more of an issue with the game and not
Hmm.
the screenshots.
Yeah, I think I'll keep with a B plus then for the screenshots.
I'd give it. I think I'd give the screenshots a A minus.
Hmm. All right, about this game, I think this is in the C range. Maybe I think
Mm,
C plus for me.
I think I would go lower than C. I think I would go D plus
Mm,
because
I'll,
there's not much of anything here.
eh, I'll give it a C minus because that one GIF is really good, but they could have broken that into 4 or 5 separate GIFs.
Yeah. Well, I put it this way: if that gift wasn't there, I'd probably give it a F.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think that one gift is enough to raise it up to a C of anything.
Hmm.
I would say it's a D plus.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll go with C minus just because they have a feature section. It's somewhat organized,
Yeah.
but it needs obviously a lot more.
Yeah.
So the info page.
They
Hmm,
definitely messed up their tags. They
eh,
got their links and everything mostly right, besides linking to the publisher's Twitch.
yeah. Not having roguelike is, I think, a very big miss. I know we give it a C because of that, maybe C
I
minus.
mean, I mean, it is like Slay the Spire and Monster Train after all.
Yeah.
It
Actually,
has
I
to
want to
be.
look up Slay the Spire for a second. See if they have a roguelike tag. They have indie strategy, which is weird. Monster Train, just strategy. Hmm.
Mm,
There is a roguelike tag, right, on Steam. I'm not imagining that.
I'm pretty positive there's a roguelike and a roguelite.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a rogue one in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
there's
mean, there's a
tons of
user-defined
tags.
roguelike.
Yeah, every I'm pretty sure every user tag is also available as a developer tag.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
a whole lot of tags.
It looks like they may have just copy pasted what Slay the Spire and Monster Train did.
Yeah, which is always great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say maybe in the still C, maybe. I think C range for me.
I mean, they got all their websites and stuff mostly right. I would give them a C.
Hmm. So overall,
Overall, I mean, they really got
really
the
good
trailer
trailer.
good. The screenshots are pretty dang good. Those are two of the highest thing. The thumbnail is not so good though, and that's one of the higher things too. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not bad either. I mean,
Maybe C plus B minus.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was debating, do I give this a B minus or do I give this a C plus?
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think
again,
I think I give it a C plus
yeah,
because that thumbnail just is not going to bring a whole lot of people to the game, especially with the tags being messed up.
yeah, and no one's gonna. It's gonna be very hard to tell somebody, okay, what is this game just by looking at this thing? Okay, there's cards on it,
Yeah,
but
and also the comparisons to Slay the Spire and Monster Train that were just kind of shoveled in there, kind of thing,
yeah,
kind of
and I think C
misrepresenting their
plus.
game.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer again does so much heavy lifting when it comes to these things.
Yeah, it does, and they had a really solid trailer. But the
Hmm.
thumbnail also does a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, doesn't matter about a great trailer; nobody clicks on it because of a bad thumbnail.
Hmm. I mean, you could just make a thumbnail that says "Don't click on this game," and then it'd be great, right? Because reverse psychology always works on Steam, right?
Some people have done that, and I think it has gotten them at least like one or two sales.
Well, yeah, because I mean, there's game collectors that will buy anything
Mm-hmm.
because but they're looking for the 99 cents games mainly because
Yeah.
they're looking for they're not playing the games, they're playing Steam.
Yeah. Here's a question: like to Juan's comment about the gift showing the wish list. Do you think this is even warranted? Like, I think if it was like a custom gift, it would be a different story. But this is just basically like copying, Steam and putting it on your store page.
I think it's an alright thing. I don't necessarily know that I would do it personally, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I just wouldn't give them any extra points for it because of everything else that was bad in the
Mm-hmm.
about this game page.
Okay. I think I'm ready to move on. Are you?
Yep.
All right. So for our third one, this is one that I got a press key for that we'll probably be taking a look at in 2 weeks when the embargo lifts. And this is Black Legend. So thumbnail, I think it's a little blah. What about you?
Yeah, it is very blah, but looking, just having the screenshots go through, the game kind of looks a little blah
Yeah, very
art wise,
bloodborne, very foggy, misty kind of look.
very brown.
Yeah.
It's 50 Shades of Brown.
Mm-hmm. We have 4 different trailers to look at this time.
Uh-uh.
Let's see.
So go to the first one,
Yep.
and I say a minute 28. That's
The
not good.
brutality of war spares none. And perhaps the survivors suffer the biggest consequences.
It's not Wayne June doing the narration, is it?
I have no idea.
Food is scarce these days, with the cult hoarding everything.
My fellow Mephistians, your humble leader has a message for you. Mephisto has returned. He unleashed a dreaded fog that blanketed the streets, and all that escaped Grant were the sounds of agony.
I mean, they're kind of going for like high production values, but none of this is really game.
I am his
instrument.
Our
Very much a
victorious
story
king has given you a
trailer.
chance of redemption.
56 seconds is his first actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Deliver him the city free of the mists that once turned his soldiers feral. Your transgressions against the crown shall be forgiven.
Way
Brought
too
in
long of a
this dish,
trailer.
and he will grant you your freedom.
Yeah. I put it this way. I didn't want to watch past the first, like, 20 seconds. 15 seconds, 10 seconds. I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, like, not bad maybe as a second or third trailer. Not exactly the one that's getting me to go, oh my god, I need to buy this game.
Yeah.
Who are the developers? Why does this name sound familiar?
4K.
Nah, not the one I was thinking of. Alright,
that one had me, oh my god, I need to click off this game.
Alright, second one starts with the name of the developer.
Alright, we're ready? Alright.
Accursed, mist-filled grunts.
Kind of starts very similar to the first one.
Once held thousands.
It's very similar
Now
and very
wrapped in
slow.
this maddening fog. Few souls remain.
Very boring. I already want to click off of it.
Stories to tell, and with the cult of Mephisto.
Yay, people are
seeking
walking
their
around
time
us,
of blood.
ring around Rosie.
Be on your guard while searching for survivors.
And again, it doesn't really do anything about like 35 seconds in.
It's not far from there.
Oh, we finally got a UI
Grant is beyond
at 45 seconds.
Every good
started
mercenary
before
picks
me.
up tricks along the way. And Grant's craftsmen were said to make the finest gunpowder and steel. Choose your ground wisely.
I don't know if this is a tactical RPG or, like, you know, if you're running around cutting and killing people, because, like, it keeps on... You know, was that a cutscene where they were running around and not actual gameplay?
Will you answer the
No, that
call?
should be gameplay.
Your prowess in battle is exactly what we need to liberate the city.
The trailers feel very mismatched.
It feels... I don't know what it feels like other than, yeah.
Yeah.
All the
I
action
mean, you
at the
could
end.
do like a story or very, you know, not gameplay specific trailer like they did with XCOM 2, but that made, you know, no attempts to, you know, show gameplay. That was just being 100% cinematic.
Mm-hmm. And
Right.
you can mix the two, but you need to do it in a good way, and this is not a good way.
Yeah. All right. The third trailer is almost 5 minutes long. I think I'm more going to like kind of fast forward through it.
Yeah, me too. All right, we're ready?
Yeah.
Grant was known as the wealthiest city-state this side.
Okay, so again, just very slow beginning.
Yeah, a lot of nothing. Just looking over the landscape. And it's the same landscape as we've already seen.
This is the
And
beginning of the streets
it's a
of the
lot.
city.
It's pretty much all the same
cultists,
content.
Be gone. You've
Yeah.
already all you will
Like at the
spot.
minute
Players
11
will not
mark,
be
where it says
handed every detail on
exploration,
a silver platter. Instead, they must
like,
collect
okay,
fragments
this
of
is
info
good. They could have
from
skipped the
various sources,
whole
including
first minute
NPC
10.
dialogue,
Yeah.
item descriptions, things. Doing
Let's
this
see,
on
still
fighting
going,
Grant power to explore more of the cursing the streets.
still going.
In Black Legend occurs almost
All right,
seamlessly.
2 minutes and
Distance.
5
Approaching
seconds
priority targets.
is
Or if you're
combat.
You can also attempt to buy
Honestly, I'm thinking that this might be their best trailer so
when
far.
design focused on a few major wanted emphasis on action,
But
a
it is
string of
way
attacks,
too long.
opportunity, or with unique ability resting.
Mm-hmm.
Actions, and we wanted to eliminate generation unit placement with rewards like attacks possible to perform.
Well,
Like the
seems like
combat
elements
should
are
be its own
removed,
trailer,
but
I
even
think.
as units,
Yeah,
amount
the
of
gameplay, you mean.
scoring a chance
Yeah.
will keep the third alchemy system based on hard magic body applies these
But the
electric
narrator is
system
just
change
writing a little
time.
too
It's a
droll
unit
for
strength
this.
stat for the remainder of the battle when you
Yeah, I
successfully
don't think
on
it's a
the
narrator. I think
units,
it's actually
while keeping
the game
as we
developer
keep
telling us
acting
how
game
his
along
game
for
plays
your
or something.
sideways.
And then the end, you know, is the same area over again that they've already
Yeah.
shown in that trailer.
They really like that graveyard, don't they?
Yes, they do. Oh my god. Then we have the 4 trailer. That's a minute 17. You ready for that one?
Yeah. So this must be an older trailer.
Grant us our wish. These words
Same
once
footage.
echoed through the
Mhm.
streets of our
It's like
accursed
they-
city
Footage.
when worn with wishes.
Yeah, I'm just fast forwarding now.
Yeah, and then
Turn.
Oh my god.
Is, I think, literally the same stuff that was in the first trailer.
Yeah, I mean, and the second trailer and the third trailer.
You will find
There's one
Alright.
scene that's different.
legacy.
No, it's not. It's just a different point of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
All right.
Well, I
That's
think
what-
I know my trailer grade.
Uh-huh. All right. Screenshots are different. Oh wait, a few of them are the same. They're still okay. They really need to stop showing that graveyard.
I mean, that may be the only thing they have in the game is that graveyard. And
Hopefully
look
this
at
takes place in the
screenshot 10
graveyard.
and screenshot 11.
Mm-hmm.
The last three are all. Mm. Mm.
Mm-hmm. The only good part of all four of those trailers was probably the like 60 seconds of actual talking about the gameplay.
In the
And
third
even
one,
that was just okay.
yeah.
All right, I am ready to scroll down.
All right, we're going
All
to
right, so
about this game.
All right, so we have text and GIF. Like this structure is better. Like what we were talking about in the first game. You want to have text, you want to have your GIF, and then you want more text. You want to break it up.
Yeah, but they didn't break it up.
Mm-hmm.
They broke up that
Right.
first part and the
And
last
then-
part.
No.
But there is way too much text there in the middle.
Yeah. The organization is good with the bullet points and the main features, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you need more GIFs.
Probably more of the blue text.
Mm-hmm. Choose your difficulty. I'm not sure why that needs to be a bullet point.
Well, I'm starting to get a very hollow feel from this game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a very graveyard, one or two scenes hollow
Very
feel.
foggy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm feeling like this game doesn't have very much content in it.
It says unlock 15 playable classes. What the hell are they? That could be a really good GIF of cycling through your classes.
Yep.
Build and customize your team. Okay, I would like to see that.
Hmm.
Show me 10 more GIFs of graveyards, because we haven't seen enough of that.
Yeah, I mean that's what they need to do. Honestly, they needed 20 gifts of graveyards. You know,
Mhm.
just spinning around the graveyard. Maybe like every other one would spin the other direction, or do you think they just need to all spin in the same direction?
They'll all spin the same direction.
Yeah.
Really highlighted.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So it looks like they are both the developer and the publisher, which is
Hmm.
interesting.
Or self-publishing.
Okay,
And
so they have-
based off of the Steam page, I think it might have been better if they didn't self-publish.
Mm-mm. So they have tags. I can't think of any other tags I would include. Maybe
Indie,
tactics.
indie tactics.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of tags they could have put in.
Yeah.
I
So
think I think for my last game, I think I put in like 7, 8 tags.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm ready for the grades. Are you?
Yeah, I am past a foggy graveyard, ready to
Mhm.
to give this a grade.
Thumbnail.
Thumbnail,
D.
I think,
I think I would give it a D for me.
You think you'd give it a D? I think I'd give it a D plus.
I mean, the text is distinctive. It's far easier to read than Neurotech, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it
And
shows
it does give
nothing of
a
its
it
game.
does give a good impression of the game being a foggy graveyard.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is accurate.
Yeah. I think DD plus is apt for me.
Yeah. So
Alright.
the trailers, what would you grade them as? Because I'm going to probably sound really harsh when I say mine.
Grading them all collectively, or even just separately, I think like the D minus range for me.
I'm thinking F minus.
Eh.
Because like
I still remember
everything,
that horrible game.
everything in there made me want to click off. The only time I did not want to click off was the part I was skipping through.
So the question is it better to be bad or be boring for these trailers?
I think it was both bad and boring.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the one gameplay part that was in trailer, I think that was 2, like a minute and a half
3.
in.
No, it was 3 because 3 was a really 4-minute long one that we were skipping through.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that was the only part that I did not hate of the trailer. The part that I was skipping through.
Yeah. So out of like 5, 6, 7, like
About
8
10
minutes
minutes.
of trailer.
10 minutes of footage, there was probably about 30 seconds in there that might have been good, but I wouldn't know too much about it because I skipped through a lot of it.
Yeah.
So, hence the F-.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll be a little bit kinder. I'll give it F plus D minus. Because none of those trailers make me want to sit through and watch it. They're too slow. They're not descriptive enough.
They all made me want to, be like, hey, Josh, let's go ahead and end the cast here. Let's go. I'm done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't make me look at this anymore.
Yeah. And I think, and again, a big problem with this first trailer, it's trying to have it both ways. It wants to be very story, very cinematic, but then it wants to try and show gameplay footage. And
I think you can do that, but you got to do it in the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the way I did, my trailers on my first game, and they were not the best trailers by any means. Certainly a lot better than a F- or a D-. I did have a hybrid story / gameplay one that was like 40 seconds or so. Yeah. And like the first 15, 20 seconds was, the story and, had different music. And then all of a sudden I kicked it up to a higher note with a different song kind of thing with the gameplay after that. And, I wouldn't say that's the best implementation.
But it's better than this.
Yeah, it's worlds better. And you can implement it. And I mean, what I'm planning right now for my next one, for my current game, when Neon continues the word of the day, the new word of the day, what I'm planning for his trailer is constant cuts between the story and the gameplay, but it's all made out to be basically a short movie that makes sense because what you see happening in the movie happens in the game. A character runs and jumps off a building. You draw the character you draw a card into your hand, and then you see the card run, the character run and jump off the building. And then you see the card drop down onto the ground, and then you see it hit the ground, and then you see it cut back to the story where enemies are coming in, and then you cuts back to the gameplay where you see enemies pop in.
That flows a lot better. Yeah, like something like this, it's too separate. It's like, here's all story, nothing that really makes sense. Now here's all gameplay, complete divorce from everything that we just said the last minute.
Yeah, but if done, better like that first one I did, my first game, it would have been a lot better. Yeah. But the thing is I was actually showing story, not just telling people about story while having a background rotating around.
And a graveyard.
Yeah, a graveyard background rotating around.
All right, so other screenshots. I mean, it does feature different screenshots, but then they also repeat again that same last graveyard. 3.
Yeah, and the the issue with this game that it's just very blah as of its color scheme, and it has that splash of red in the UI, and that's the only color in here besides the orange and the orange and green in screenshot number 8.
Yeah. So I think
they need to either figure out if they want to run with colors or not colors, and not just splashes of color in random areas. This is a problem with the game, not the screenshots. But it very much shows in their screenshots. There's a lack of color consistency, and where there is color consistency, it's just
Yeah.
it's just.
I would say maybe D plus C minus for those screenshots.
I'd rate them higher than that, but not because they're good. I think the screenshots would be decent if the game behind it was decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say the screenshots on their own merit, without the game being involved, and you ignore the game issues and whatnot behind it. I think the screenshots would be a C. C
Right.
plus. But like when you consider the game, the art and everything and the way they did the aesthetics is definitely not high.
Yeah. And then we get to the about this game section. It is pretty bad. The problem is that nothing here, other than 30, 40 seconds of the guy talking very drolly, actually has described for me what this gameplay is.
Yeah, I would say this about this page is probably like I don't know. Would you say this is a D plus or a C minus?
I think in the D plus range for me.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to sell somebody a turn-based game like this, you need to show them what it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing is that because all these screenshots look alike, it looks like this is a very, limited, very basic game.
And it may be.
But you don't want that to come up in your screenshots and your trailers.
Yeah. I mean, they have at least 15 graveyards full of fog that all look exactly the same.
Yeah. So I think in the D plus range.
Yeah.
The about the game section, it's not bad.
They don't. They lack tags.
But they at least have like the basics down. I would give it maybe C plus B minus.
Yeah, I'd give it probably a B minus. C plus. I'd go more C plus actually. Because the tags are just so important.
So overall, exactly. I think
the weight, the main weight carries the thumbnail, which got a low grade, the trailer which got a horribly low grade, and the screenshots which got a alright grade, and then the about this page got a low grade, which would be the next thing, and then I think the thing they did best was the actual description and tags. Or the tags, and websites and whatnot. Yeah. I think that's the highest grade they have on here, and seconded by the screenshots kind of thing. I'm going to give this one, I think an F plus, or maybe a D minus.
I was thinking D minus myself.
I'm thinking F plus because I'm going to go F plus because. Even with all this stuff bad, you also have a game being this blah, gray, just, like nothing about this is appetizing. Nothing about this is
interesting. Or distinctive.
And I'm all about the tactical RPGs because, my last game was one. And this is one that I am, like, as soon as we turn this off, I am going to try to forget about this game as quickly as possible, and I probably will not be able to do it because it's scarred its way into my brain, and it's physically repulsed me.
Yeah, and again, this could be the next great, amazing strategy RPG in terms of its design, but you won't know that by these screenshots and the trailer and anything that's kind of dissuading you from checking it out.
Yeah, I put it this way. If you tell me that, I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not checking it out.
This game has an uphill battle, essentially, because of its store page, and you don't want that.
No, you definitely do not want that. This game accurately, and effectively told me to never remotely check out this game. And if, just everything about this store page has been like, yeah, I if you start playing this every night, I'm going to start disappearing every night. like Spelunky kind of thing. This is, don't turn this into the next Spelunky 2.
I see this more like a 10-15 minute play. Although maybe it'll be surprising, but you don't want to rely on surprises and, dumb luck when it comes to marketing your game.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Among Us did. And Among Us is in the process of dying right now because they're still relying on that, even after they got the dumb luck.
Oh, yes. So, overall, Gravity Heroes, I think, is our top pick. Really solid. They would have just made about this game page, I think, a little bit more consistent. It could have gone the, I think, A or A+ range.
Oh, yeah. That first one could have definitely gotten way up there kind of thing. But, I mean, they overdid it. They didn't go Safeway Extreme. They went extremely extreme.
Yeah. And Neurodeck went just safely safe. They didn't do enough here.
Yeah. You can't go extremely extreme. You can't go safely safe. You got to go safely extreme.
All right, but I think that will wrap things up for our show this week. So we've yet to find a game that gets at least our A rank, or heaven forbid, an A+ rank from us.
Yeah, but we did luckily find the second one to get an A-.
We need to start having like a section like on these pages that like the Hall of Fame for the games that get at least an A- or above.
Yeah, I mean, we might have a Hall of Fame for the lower side too, which this one, the last one just took that. So that was the worst team page we've ever looked at.
I don't know, that one that was supposed to be the Among Us clone, I think, was also really bad.
But I don't think it got an F- or F+. I think it got a D-, didn't it?
I think we may have invented a new grade for how bad that one was. I think we gave it like an E or a double F. All right, but that will do it for this week's show. As always, if you are working on a game and you could use some help with your store page, or just want us to help you out and give it a little bit of a boost, please get in touch with us. You can follow me on Twitter at GWBeister. And for you, Shark?
You can follow me at Nexus Games LLC 1. And of course, you can follow both of us on YouTube. I'm at 41 subscribers now, so the 9 people that are watching this can subscribe, and we'll hit 50. And of course, you can subscribe to Josh's channel too. And links to both my channel and Josh's channel are down in the links description of each other's channels.
Yeah.
As well as our Discords.
Yep. Definitely join the Discords if you like more advice or to hang out and talk. And if you're curious for our thoughts on game design and game dev topics, tune in for these Safely Extreme podcasts Sundays starting around 4:30 ET. And these shows are recorded live Thursdays starting around 3:30 ET.
Yeah, or you can join our Discord to play games with us sometimes, or you can join my server to check out my game that I'm currently working on, Neon Continue, or come to the dev chats that we have every once a month.
All right. So, with all that said, we'll be wrapping things up for this week's show. Thanks again for tuning in, and come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where he's in the art and science of games. Until next time, everybody, take care.
See ya.